Here we are in Grange William Dunamore Cemetery just outside Maynooth, and after being on to the caretaker this week, he advised us that we must be able to run at 21 kilometres an hour because the bull can run at a 20 kilometres an hour. I know. We are here to visit the grave of Annie McCarthy and William Dunn, and also their son Christopher, also in this grave, who died in 1950 as well. The Dunns had 5 children, including Bernadette Dunn, who was my granny. And as you can see, it's a bit of a trek across beautiful open fields into this monastic graveyard in Maynooth. After initial attempts to try and find the grave, we eventually found it, and I should note that it is at the Carton side of the graveyard, and it is overgrown with lots of ivy and lots of weeds then too. Joe, my son, eventually found it, the plaque we were looking for, lined up against the tree, which, as said, was facing the Carton House side of the graveyard. If you are in the cemetery, please do try and mind yourself. There's a few potholes, and my ankle was nearly broken twice. Nearly broken twice. Here we are. And Joe finds it.
Oh, wow.
Well done, Joe. As you can see, lots of ivy, and the small headstone is in definite need of a wash and a scrub, which we did. I don't have any death records for Annie McCarthy or even a photograph. That is my holy grail, is to look for a photograph of Annie McCarthy and William Dunn too. And Darragh doing a good job on the GoPro today. Well done, Darragh. Well done. Look behind us now. I did find out what Annie McCarthy's nickname was from a newspaper obituary. Her nickname was Nano McCarthy.
I thought we were going to use this to cut it down, though.
No, that's alright. Stay there.
Alright.
Sniff, sniff, Ollie. And then we're thinking of making our way back across the field again, all the way across the field, back to our car, to our next genealogy destination today. Ollie loves a good walk. There he is. Oh boy, Ollie. Now we're at Glasnevin Cemetery. We're hoping to find the grave of Ellen McCarthy and Mary Brady, who are the parents of Annie McCarthy, whose grave we just saw there in Maynooth. It is in the Dublin section in Glasnevin. In the main gate, take a left, and it's just near where the Parnell Monument is, just behind that, and it's marked by a wooden cross. Edward and Mary, they lived in Mountjoy Street. Mary died in 1906 and Edward died in March 1916, and he worked as a soap boiler for a living. Again, after more searching around, we should eventually try and find this or mark this better, but we do come across it. I find this time, not Joe. It's along the path, as I said, Dublin section. And you can see it over there on the left hand side there too. Done. There's Ollie again. And here we have Darragh and Joe standing beside the grave of their 3 times grandparents. 3 times great grandparents. And now we're heading off to our final destination then today, heading out of Glasnevin Cemetery, back into the car, and it's off to Selbridge we go, to visit the O'Brien side. Okay, so we're at Donaghumper Cemetery now here in Selbridge, and we're looking for the O'Brien side. O'Brien line. This grave was recently done up. Don't know by whom, but it looks really well, and there are lots of O'Briens in this grave. William, Ellen, and John, also the son of Christy, as well in that grave then too as well. Here I am pointing out. The sound isn't great because a lot of traffic going by, but William's parents were my great grandparents, and they gave birth to obviously my granddad, which would have been William O'Brien then too, who went on to marry a Bernadette Dunn, and that is where the two lines, the Dunns, the McCarthys, and the O'Briens, join up then too as well. We're going to move over now to my grandparents' grave, which is just across the way from this graveyard here in Donaghcumper, which is Bernadette Dunn, whose mother was Annie McCarthy, whose grave we saw there in Maynooth, and she married William O'Brien in 1949 in Selbridge Church, and rumour has it that it was a shotgun wedding.